guys, welcome back to another Ghost Reacts, and today we're reacting to another video, and that video we are reacting to today is another Sternio Triplets video. It is Cut the Camera. It is their podcast that we're reacting to again today. It is the second episode in the playlist that I've got. It is called The Unheard Stories of How We Became YouTubers. It is 55 minutes long. We all know what to expect from these types of from the first episode, sort of know what to expect from these types of podcasts, but without further ado, let's get straight into it today with this podcast. I know you've all been waiting for it, so let's get straight into it today.
Good morning, campers, and welcome back to the Cut the Camera podcast. I am Nick. I am Matt. It's Chris here again, and we are all together, the Sternio Triplets, and this is our podcast, Cut the Camera. Today, we are going to be talking about how we got to the exact position that we are in today, how we got to where we are currently, and our journey, past, present, and future, that led to the very moment we're sitting here. Well, past and present.
Before we get any further, I would love to see, I don't know if they've done it in the for future episodes, but from what I've seen at the moment from first, and this is just the start of the second episode, I really want them to do like a little introduction video at the start, like they do in their other videos, with the little intro music with like the little thing of them. That would be quite cool for this podcast as well, if they did do that. It'd be very similar to Bad Friends with their little intro animation at the start. Like most people are doing little animations at the start, like I'm doing my reactions at the moment. Just to kick it off, to make people get in the mood ready for the video. So I reckon if they haven't done it yet, they should start doing that type of thing, because it would really like get the energy going for the episode that's they're about to do. That's my opinion. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below.
To the moment. Past that led to the present, then we're going to talk about the present, and then we're going to talk about our plans in the future. So what a wonderful podcast episode. Basically just who are these kids who have a podcast? Why are they talking? This is going to explain to you, catch you up right away to, and how we got to, you know, our level of popularity and all
whatnot,
that jazz.
everything that comes along with it.
I'm very
That's what we're
interested
talking
in
about
this,
today.
by the way.
And I'm super excited about that. So first thing we're going to talk about, content as kids. A lot of you guys know we're content creators, obviously. But we literally, one of the questions I feel like we get asked all the time is like, oh, when did you guys like start content? Like, what was your drive to like randomly start doing YouTube? And it was kind of just like our content never really had a start. It was like we were documenting our life from the moment it started, and we could. Like we had we had slide phones, and we never really had social media, so we weren't really aware of like creating social media. But when we would go to our cousin's house, they had video games and they had YouTube videos, and we were just like so in awe of like all the technology they had in their house. So our cousins kind of taught us about like making videos, which led to us like literally documenting everything. Like I remember filming music videos at home.
There's so much cringy content
so
about
terrible.
young children that
Far too much.
much.
A lot of it I'm happy still is, you know, private and not public, because it was like scary little things. And for some reason we used to film at like 8 years old in our underwear, like running around the house. But like Matt's vines are pretty wonderful.
Can you not?
That is
like,
quite
don't
early
even,
to
like,
start.
give it the light that it
type of
doesn't
thing.
deserve.
The spotlight on
Please.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nick's YouTube channel is a big primary focus.
Yeah, we had a
of the
YouTube. I had a
young
YouTube channel. We
Coming
made
at
YouTube
you
videos
like a
on.
dog.
Yeah, we downloaded Dark Horse by Katy Perry music video. That was pretty lit. But that was
Don't say that.
pretty lit. It was awesome, bro.
I hate that
Chris
so
was
much.
Juicy J.
Was I really?
I think so. Like we were like, oh, you can't be in it the whole time because you got to be the feature.
I ate it probably.
Which honestly was so lucky on your part, because you're in that video the least. Which is
Yeah.
like I regret it, because I was the
extremely
star.
corny.
But I think we have to.
Yeah, it was like on the movie star
When
thing.
I think about it now, obviously it's corny, but like I didn't. This is gonna sound so funny, but I didn't even realize how corny little kids are sometimes. like literally, like little kids can be like everything you do.
Yeah,
as
like
a
little
kid.
kids-
When I did shit as a little kid, I didn't think like, oh my god, like let's do like this fashion show, or like look at me roll this ball, or just like something like that. Like when I was a little kid, I used to get so excited like doing like cartwheels that weren't full
Here's the thing.
cartwheels.
I think
just, like,
that little
throwing
kids,
myself on the
little
ground,
kids
you
haven't
know?
seen a lot, so they think
It's so
everything is
cute, honestly.
and they think
It's
everything's
adorable.
amazing and cool.
Yeah.
And another thing is like when you're a kid, you're not worried about judging and
That's so
judgmental
true.
people. And
Yeah.
stuff. You're just gonna do whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you want. I think if everyone acted like a little kid, like at heart, the world
Life
would be a
would be
much
beautiful. Well, it's like people's
better place.
confidence level would be through the roof. Because it's like
I
when you're a
agree.
kid, you think that like
everything
the
you do
dinosaur
is
shorts
amazing.
you have are the coolest fucking
Of
thing
course
ever.
they are. And they
so it's
are.
like everyone else around you, and you're like, oh, these
I
are my
agree.
dinosaur shorts. Like, so yeah, it's
So
kind
we're-
of tough, honestly. Like, I'd
age-
love to have a little kid's confidence.
Yeah.
So we made content when we
I
found.
think
out,
everyone
like,
would.
We didn't get our first smartphone until like 7th grade, I think. Yeah.
I don't think it was even 7th grade.
No, in 7th grade
I
we
think
got.
it was-
I think it was halfway through 7th grade because we were like. Yeah, the summer from 6th
I'm pretty
grade
sure it
to
was
7th
8th grade.
No, it was the summer from 6th grade to 7th grade. We got smartphones.
I remember
6th to
having
7th or 6th grade is when we got the
The
slide
slide
phones
phones.
with the keyboards built in.
Loved
Yeah,
them.
and then
I want one.
I think mom
Type
got us
phone.
like phones, like smartphones for like starting middle school, so like 7th, 8th grade.
No, bro. I remember going to 7th grade with like a slide phone.
Really?
Yes. I
Okay,
vividly
then I
remember.
think- You're wrong.
But no, but I had an iPod as well.
Oh, that's true. No, I used to bring my iPod.
When they say like their grades of school, that's completely different to what ours is over here. Because obviously I'm the UK, these are not from your USA, whatever. So the age of that they're talking about, can you please let me know what age that is? Because I didn't get like my first like phone, and that's not just doesn't matter about it being a smartphone or anything like that. It literally was just a box standard, just a phone. And I didn't get that privilege until the age of like 13, 14. So if that's the similar age, and I agree with it, well, for what they're talking about. But if it's younger, then I don't agree with having a phone younger than that age, in my opinion, because you have no need for one. Unless the only exemption I'd make for that would be if the child was allowed out on their own at that age, which, and again, my opinion, wouldn't do it, would never do it. I wasn't allowed out till I was 13, but on my own till I was 13. I wasn't even allowed to leave the house. Like, my mate used to come knock for me and stuff like that, and my mum would be like, nope, not coming out, not allowed out. That's the type of strict parents when I was younger. They're not as strict now. They're a bit laid back now, but still a strict childhood. But I can't really complain. Look how I turned out. I'm all right. I'm not bad. But yeah, I agree with that age that they done with us, like with the phones and not being allowed out, because it's dangerous at that age for kids being out on their own, being acting social media and things like that. That it shouldn't be a thing because it's so dangerous to youngsters these days. But yeah, you got me waffling on here. Please let me know in the comments what that age of that they're talking about right now, because I've got no clue what that age is. But yeah, let's just get back to the video now.
Taking photos, and we had like Samsung phones with terrible camera quality, and I remember hating the camera quality on it, so I'd bring like an iPhone to school and like take photos on it, and then when
iPod.
I'd go home, I'd post all my photos from like the
Yeah.
school day, like my private story.
Yeah.
So I think he was just
Sorry,
like,
I like totally wasn't paying
so we
attention.
just had like, we didn't get smartphones till like 7th, 8th grade, but we somehow filmed corny content as kids on our iPods and stuff like that growing up. But once we got like legit technology, and then no, it was like once we understood what technology was and like we had phones, we would be like saying we didn't have smartphones till 7th grade. Yes, it's the truth, but we had iPods, so we were
and
still
like computers.
we
so
were
like
still
I was always
socially
watching.
aware. Like I was on Instagram on my like iPod all the
Yeah,
time.
but I also
so.
remember watching like YouTube videos on like computers and
Yeah,
like,
a
and, like
lot.
Vines. Like I think we started consuming content far
I think
too
Vine
soon.
was like the first
yeah, in like
thing I remember
7th grade,
watching.
8th grade, and then like high school, obviously. But ever since I was watching content creation and shit, I always wanted to be like a
Yeah,
YouTuber
like
and shit.
I think it was getting to high school and realizing that it was like a job for some people. Like,
Yeah,
it was like legit.
yeah.
Like I remember me, Matt, and Chris were major Logan and Jake Paul fans when they were like
yeah,
in their
big time,
prime. Of, like
huge.
it was every day, bro, and I was there for every single
Yeah.
day. You know,
Yeah.
like I
Don't
watched
agree
I
with
think
that
every
at
single
all.
Jake Paul video.
I do not
but
like Logan
And
or Jake,
Dolan twins.
the Dolan
Yep.
twins were major, but it was
but
like
everyone open to their own preferences.
seeing people do this for a living. Me, Matt, and Chris always were like, oh, we want to do that, but it was on the back burner like our kind of entire childhood. Like we were doing
Yeah.
it for fun, and we like just
And then
didn't.
gaming YouTubers was a whole nother realm. Like I watched Ali.
Oh my
like,
god,
for years.
I love
Yes.
Allier. I love the Pokemon videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
Mystic 7's Pokemon Go videos are undefeated.
basically it was that, and then me, Matt, and Chris were at the age where like we were in high school, like 7th and 8th grade, and even though we were seeing people do social media for jobs, we were like, yeah, that's awesome for them, but like it was on the back burner of like none of us were really primarily focused on like, oh, we want to be social media creators.
Yeah, I
it was just
agree.
something we did for leisure. So, but at that time when you're in high school and you hang out with your friends after school, you want money to like buy a burrito if everyone goes to the fucking local taqueria. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there were so many occasions where like we want to bring money, and we hated asking
Yeah.
our parents to like supply us for money for the week. So
That
we
is
got,
so relatable
jobs.
as well.
We did have money.
yeah,
Like,
but I was like
So many
literally,
people
like,
do the
an
same thing.
inch away from saying when you just interrupted
you
me.
stopped. I didn't interrupt you. You were at a complete stop.
No,
and
yeah,
it's
you did-
literally
you did
on
come to-
camera, so we can watch
No,
the
you
replay.
did come to a complete stop. Regardless,
if
that's
you
what I
get-
was getting at.
He was getting there. If you gave him like
I think
30
two
more
more
I
seconds. Yeah.
consider it more of an alley oop rather than an interruption.
Awesome.
I
Go
agree.
ahead. Yeah.
okay. So
Thank you.
we. I thought you were pointing at me to keep going on your
I
thoughts, so you can go.
Keep going. Go ahead.
Okay, so we started to get real jobs, even though we went and got stop beatboxing.
Okay.
Thanks. We went and got real jobs all at the supermarket. Nick got his in a year before me and Chris because me and Chris.
year?
No, it was like 6 months.
I remember being
For
there
me,
for
it
like.
was a year, I think.
No, wrong. It
I
was
remember being at
no,
the
it was,
store for
it
like
was, it was
7
actually
months.
Hold on.
4 months. It was
Relax.
like 4 or 5 months.
I remember all I wanted you to do was test
It's
the
just a
waters and
discussion,
see how it
lads.
was,
Yeah, so
and then I was
basically it
gonna
was-
go.
Don't need to
Me, Matt,
start
and Chris
arguing.
are- one of our best friends back home was we were like
Oh.
oh we need to get jobs, right? So we were like, okay, what can we do? And me, Matt, and Chris live super close to a grocery store, but our friend, we were like, we were gonna get a job at this grocery store. They were like, well, my family already works at this other grocery store, so let's all go like see and try and
Mhm.
apply. So I went first, and then hit it off really well with like everyone who worked there. And I know it's just a grocery store, so like they hire really anybody who
But
has
it felt like
functional hands. But I was like, you know what? I'm so down for this. So I remember like I was still chubby. I had a side part. I had my black hoop earrings. Like I was very like
Edgy.
no, no. It was like I remember still like when
You
I
were
when I
having an
think of that
identity
version of
crisis.
myself, I think of like holy shit, that's a child. And then I think like I
Yeah.
see photos of me in like a Star Market uniform, and I'm like, wow, they are brave people there because I would not have hired me. But
Mhm.
regardless, I was a great worker. And then so I was working there for like 5 months, and then Matt, Chris, and our friend were like, okay, it's our turn. And then so when they came along and they applied, obviously they were like kind of gonna get the job, and then I got to train every single one of them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then we were all working at the grocery store for a while, which working as a triplet in like the fucking is it retail? Is it a retail
Yes,
job?
retail.
No, retail's closed, right?
No, it's like it's customer service.
Well,
I-
working a job
Grocery
like
store,
that
something.
as
I
like
think
triplets
it's
was
retail.
one of like the funniest memories I'll have forever.
We're not going to dig too much into this because I think we could talk about funny
Ugh.
work experiences and all that stuff on a full separate pod for like an entire segment of just the work life before. But basically, we got that job together. We all kind of had our experiences with it. It's the pros and cons of working there. And
What are
Like,
what are you
getting at,
saying, bro?
Yeah.
It was awesome. We had fun. We worked together. Then after that, COVID actually before that, we were living at
where I
our.
was getting.
Okay, I don't care.
Well, no, I. What's like the funniest thing? Hold on, really quick. Like, what's the funniest thing that happened to you like while working at a grocery store?
Okay, I guess we are talking
I
about
think
Like,
yeah,
at
I feel
least
like we
one
might as
thing
well.
each.
Fuck
Okay.
it, we might as well. I remember being at the grocery store when I was first training, so it was like my first like week and a half there.
Mm.
And then when you train at a grocery store, they put you on like the fucking 12 item checkout, so that
Yeah.
way you're not facing a lot
Overwhelmed.
of items. So I was at the like 12 items or fewer line, and this dude came up and he put like his like Mountain Dew or something on the conveyor belt, and I was tired, so I was like scratching my eyes like this, and then I leaned back, I'm like yawning, arms up, eyes shut. And then I opened my eyes and the dude was just there, and it scared the fuck out of me that I actually like flinched and ducked
A
down.
little
like,
jump
underneath
scare.
my
One time I
counter, and it was
fully-
just like a customer.
One
Yeah.
time I passed out
Oh, that's cool.
at work. Like I remember I was scanning groceries for so long they wouldn't let me sit down. I don't understand. Okay, this is something that I could go on a tangent for forever, but so I'm gonna like really cut it short. But I don't understand why we are paying people like minimum wage jobs, like working at a grocery store for checkout, and not even giving them the human decency of being able to sit down while
Fully
they're doing
agreed.
it. Like these people are making minimum wage and they're standing there scanning your groceries for 8 hours a day. And I don't think it's that important to me. Like I've never gone to a grocery store and been like, if the person behind the register was sitting down, my experience at this grocery
I
store would be
agree.
less valuable.
I agree.
I agree.
Because I remember saying that to our manager, and they were like, "Well, it just like isn't professional." It's like I think that it's so much easier and healthier to get your job done. Like
I
I remember,
agree.
Wait, hang on. From my experience when I was over there in Florida, to myself, I don't recollect them sitting down at all. So that's completely different to over here, because at our checkouts over here, most of our checkouts have chairs. It's very rare if they don't have a chair. So I've only just thought of that as well. Like, is that everywhere, or is that just in certain spots of your states? Because I've only like, you just commented that, and I've just literally just thought about that. Wow. Please let me know if this is like proper, because that's so weird. Like over here, we have sit-in checkouts all like nearly everywhere. Please let me know in the comments. I'm so curious about this.
your knees feeling like they were locking at the end of every shift, and it's like it's so repetitive that I was genuinely like, getting dizzy, and I
Yeah.
like legit passed out one day and like had to go up and like. I
I
thought
remember
that would
you were like getting a granola bar because you were
yeah,
like
I thought
lightheaded.
that would be the turning point of like they'd have like the decency to be like, okay, like it makes sense for people to sit, but no, it did not.
But it's also not up to them. It's up to like the corporate
But
business.
that's
and
just that's like an overall opinion I have that
At the end of the
is
day,
so
groceries
stupid.
are gonna
and
get
you're
bought,
awesome.
you know?
Matt, go ahead.
One of the funny experiences for me was not really funny, but I remember like
let's talk into the mic.
no, I am. I
Yeah.
remember working.
No, I am.
I remember
Back and
working
forth.
the morning shift for like the first time ever. So that was opening at 7 a.m. And when it's morning, since there's not that many people, it's just like a few customers until like you don't have another person on the register until like 2 hours into your shift. So like you are the only register for 2 hours. And I genuinely remember having to pee so bad, but there being no other like cashier, and having to like somehow get someone who wasn't supposed to be a cashier to sub in for like 10 minutes just so I could go pee.
10 minutes to
or
pee.
whatever. Fucking
Holy
walk
shit.
to the bathroom.
Okay, well, like let's get there, please. Like
Who
I'm not
cares?
trying to be here for an eternity
Genuinely
talking
almost
about this
pissing
shit.
myself because I couldn't find somebody to take my spot for
That's
3
the
minutes.
worst. I thought that's
to-
the weakest story ever from like Star Market.
Okay, well I have
Dude,
more,
I think
but if
the
we're gonna
best
talk
thing ever.
about like all
no,
of
no,
them,
last
I
thing
could.
before we move on from the Star Market grocery stores experiences is like I think the best thing ever.
We probably
was
shouldn't
once I got
name
Doesn't
the
matter.
store.
Star Market. It's
Doesn't
a
matter.
global.
It's
Go
not
ahead.
global. It's East Coast, but it doesn't matter.
It's an Eastern Coastal
Nick, just go.
sensation grocery store. Anyways, I remember like my favorite thing ever was the intercom, and once I got like the
Upgraded.
intercom, once I got upgraded to a service desk, my favorite thing was just like being able to like put people in their place when they're like freaking out about like trying to return something. But the craziest thing to
Hold
me, and I have
on.
to say,
Good
like,
God.
okay, two
Did Nick
thoughts,
just hit the table,
two
by
thoughts,
the way?
and then we'll absolutely move on because we're talking about it for too long. But one thing that I find crazy is if you genuinely try and return anything to a grocery store, like our grocery store had like the policy of like, don't ask any questions and return it if
Yeah.
you're asking. Like it was like a no
You can also
questions
just
asked
steal.
policy. So
That's pretty crazy.
yeah, that is crazy.
Like,
they also
You literally can't do anything
they
about
don't.
it.
You can walk out. I'm not allowed to do anything.
No,
you can
if you're
go, stealing under like $400 values of things, it's genuinely like it's
you're not allowed
considered
to.
like even if you see
Disrespectful.
someone literally
Bro,
take
what?
shit off the shelf and steal it, it's like if you are somehow wrong, it can turn into a whole thing. So in order to avoid that from happening for the company, they just tell you like if someone's
Let's be real
stealing,
though. If I
don't-
could do something about it, I ain't seen nothing.
Bro, like
well, it's just like
Like, you're good,
regardless, we're
but-
like getting off topic, but also
that's you can steal if you want.
But another thing is what I was saying is there's like a no questions asked policy at the store we're at with like refunds. So I remember standing there and this guy came in with a case of Coke. I'm doing air quotes for those of you just listening and not watching, but he had a case of Coke and it was taped up with like clear tape in the middle, so it had already been opened. And I looked through like there was like a hole in the front and a hole in the back and like the slit on the top to like carry it. And
Bit
there was
weird.
like a Sprite, a Fanta, a Diet
What?
Coke. Like it was a case of Coke filled with other sodas, and I was just like in
Variety
awe. Like
pack. custom variety
the
pack.
custom
Yeah,
one
and he was
of one.
returning it, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then my other favorite thing was being able to use the intercom because I
Cool,
used to always,
awesome. Next one.
know.
So while we were working at the grocery store that time era of high school, our house caught on fire during
Shit.
the
Oh my
during our school experience and whatnot. So it was actually into the summer into sophomore year.
I think so.
It was 2019.
2019.
Yeah, 2019. We burnt.
No, into junior year. Summer going into junior year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we
I'm fully
ever.
correct.
Yeah, I think you are as well.
With going into junior
I'm not
year.
denying
No,
that
you're
you're
correct.
correct. No,
I'm just
he's
thinking
correct.
about it a
He's
little
correct. He's
longer.
correct. And then so then we moved like into like a way smaller apartment, and we had a house and it was just a beautiful home. We loved our bedrooms. It was nice and large, and we would all have like time and space alone somewhat. Like it was a great house. And then when we moved to this apartment, our older brother had a room. My mom and dad had their room. Nick had like an office, and me and Matt shared like the living room. So it
Yeah.
was such a smaller environment that we weren't used to
Jam-packed.
at all. We were like on top of each other. So it got like super like crowded in this apartment, and like the family issues would increase because everyone was like on top of each other, and like I feel like that was like the most us three head-butted. And we talked about it
Ever.
a lot, like because Nick was also closeted. He came out to us at that house. So there was also like the internal anger from Nick of like,
Yeah.
that's also in the whole like gay story.
The gay story.
Go ahead.
No, but basically it was like all of us were like, it was really weird because it was like we were going from having such like a house that we were blessed to like be living in that was like big enough for all of us to kind of like I think like where you live and like your home is such like an important part of like who
Growing
you are as a
up,
person.
yes.
Like even if you just have like a little bit of a space that you have, like and
It's
where you're
yours.
from is genuinely like what your home life is like changes your life completely. So when your house catches on fire and you completely have a new home and like adapting, that's why I'm pretty sure like scientifically 3 of like the most stressful things on earth is like or like the most
One of the 3 is
depressive things.
moving.
One of the 3 is moving, the other one's like a breakup, and then the other one's like the loss of a family member. Those are like top 3 things that are like whatever. So it's like
Damn.
moving was like insane where all of us were kind of just like
Because you're breaking consistency.
yeah.
With all that.
So it was like it was really, really difficult for all of us to be getting along overall. But it really did like as much as we're gonna talk shit like about it in like the next few minutes of the podcast, like this segment of the apartment life because it wasn't the best, it genuinely shaped us into like the people that we are today.
Because if you when same time period we got that house fire moving into this smaller apartment, and then it's like COVID hit at the same time, like a little bit after too.
after our COVID
It was like right when we-
2021.
it was
Shit
like
combination of things to happen.
2020.
COVID
Yeah, it
was
was- yeah, it was like
2020.
whenever the whole, like,
Fuck
2020.
2020 thing, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So it was like summer of 19 we moved, and then right when we were getting comfortable, COVID struck the winter of
Yeah, because it was August and then
2020.
the next March. So it was January, February, March, April, May.
whatever. It was as soon as we got comfortable in an apartment, the COVID hit, and then like
Yeah, it was
so
6
then we
months
were all
later.
trapped in
remember
that
the
small
COVID
apartment
hit-
as well.
COVID hit the second or like right around when we were about to finish getting permits to like do the construction on our house that caught on fire.
Oh my
'Cause-
god,
'cause
that's
then-
so right.
Because then it delayed.
You're awesome.
It delayed the permits for our other house because there was only one construction worker allowed to work on site at a
Yes.
time, and then like
Yes.
this
So
whole
then
thing.
we
So
were
it's like
in
when
that
you're
house
doing
for so long.
construction, like the city you live in, you need like a permit to be like, oh,
Well,
we're doing
everywhere.
this massive. Yeah, that's what I meant.
So the permit that we couldn't get the permit to fix our other house, and we're stuck at the apartment with COVID, and nobody can leave their homes. So it's all 6 of our family members in this one house all the time, 24/7, can't leave.
Yeah, and also another thing that was really, really crazy is kind of like it was like we were kind of being like, it wasn't like lied to by like the construction people because they didn't really know better. But like when our house first caught on fire, the day of, they were like, oh, you'll be back in like 4 months. We're gonna like
No,
build
they
it
said,
out and like
2
be
weeks.
back. They said 2 weeks. Then they changed it to 4 months, and then after the 4 months, they were like, okay, we need like 3 more months because we haven't had the permits got yet. And then it went from they got the permits, then COVID hit, and then it ended up taking like
2
a year
years.
and a half to 2 years for us to get our house back after the house fire. And they had kept telling us like, oh, next month,
Wow.
next month. So for the entire 2 years, we were expecting the next month to be the month
Yeah.
that we were
So
moving
then
back.
like just us being all over each other in that apartment, and then Matt learning how to drive. We were like, let's just get out of the house. So then we started driving around, like just having these late night conversations about life. It was the most like emotional year for all of us, probably,
Yeah.
and everyone on the earth. Like everyone was suffering so much of the pandemic.
That is
People
true.
hated being
Everyone
outside.
was affected.
So we would just drive around and have late night conversations, and then like further on along the road, we were like, we might as well just like record one of these and just
Like,
fucking
start-
put it, like let's like actually start making
I feel
content.
like it's like we're already going out on these late night drives anyway, and we're talking about topics that are making us laugh or making us cry, like feel all the emotions, all that type of stuff. So it's like everything that people love to see in content creators, we're already doing in our car. It's like, let's record this. We want to do YouTube as our job anyway. Like let's do it.
and then
And I feel like being like with COVID and all that stuff and not having to go to school, it really like dulled the pressure of like the people at school like bullying us for trying to be content
Yeah.
creators and,
And
stuff like that.
backtracking a little bit is when our house fire was in August, and then I ended up coming out to Matt and Chris in October. So it was really a crazy, like the house fire kind of put it in perspective to me, like internally, like, oh, nothing is really gonna last as long, or like everything's like
temporary.
yeah, everything's temporary. Anything can change all at once. So I was like, if I'm gonna like live, I need to be able to like live truthfully. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So having our house fire kind of struck to me that it was like, okay, like you gotta like start acting on this. And I had already come out to some friends already, so I was like kind of had the ball rolling. And then by the time October hit, it was like, I think me coming out to Matt and Chris and then our house fire were two things that bonded us the way that me, Matt, and Chris are today. Like our relationship would not be as strong as it is now without me coming out with our house fire.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we didn't get along until we could fully understand each other. And I think that like most of Matt's anxiety as well that we didn't even really talk about is like Matt's anxiety kind of started to be at its like not ending because it doesn't really ever end. That's something
Yeah.
that everyone lives with. But
It was
Matt's
more,
anxiety
I
got
was
so
just
much
getting
better.
used to it, and I feel like the shit that kind of fucked me up was like the COVID lockdown and all that shit. That's what I was doing for the entire my half of my entire childhood was staying in my house on lockdown.
Yeah.
Of like my own free will, not
Yes,
because
yeah.
of like any global pandemic that was going on. But then the second I didn't want to do that for my own free will, it was an actual global pandemic. So then I'm staying home for
Yeah.
like
But
8 years.
That like yeah, so basically like Matt's anxiety getting better because he was able to drive, and then me coming out and feeling 100% myself, and then our house fire. Those were like kind of like the ingredients that we needed to like build our relationship.
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where like
It was
we're
the
in like
ingredients to relationship soup.
yeah. So
Okay.
now we're at a point where we're in like early November, and like our life was completely spun upside down, right? And then so March came, and that was when COVID happened. So me, Matt, and Chris were at a point where like we were 100% with each other. Like we were best friends. We were like getting along.
We loved the
nonstop.
content creation. We loved it all.
Well, no, I feel like we're not at content creation yet. Like we got along so well, and then when COVID hit, that's when we were like, we're gonna use like what has become of our relationship and how much closer we are to each other to now move into like doing content together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Because now,
But I also feel like TikToks, like Nick and me were posting TikToks like for a while all this was going down, and they were actually
So I'm
like,
not
going
talking much. I'm
crazy.
just trying
A
to
little bit.
listen.
Like mine and
I'm
Nick's
actually trying to
numbers
focus.
were- I
Fucking
remember
orange
I
hoodie
always
kid.
wanted to get like at least 10K likes on a TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, that
If
felt
I've got a
crazy
comment
to
about
me.
something, you'll
And
know.
then I
I'll
al-
say
I kept
something
getting
about
it,
it.
and
But if
I
I
was like,
don't, I'll just stay
10,000
quiet.
people, like that's actually a fucking lot.
insane.
And I'm like, every TikTok I would post would get like 10K likes, 10K likes, 10K likes, 10K likes, and I was like, wow, I need to keep doing this. I got to the point where I was at like 200K on
Started coaching me.
TikTok. I would tell Matt to get on there. Nick was already posting on it.
And then I feel like obviously Chris's goal was not to be a TikToker, it was to be a YouTuber. So
Yeah.
it was like, we're making these YouTube videos that we actually enjoy. Let's get the people that are enjoying looking at Chris on TikTok to actually find us for more than just
Yeah.
like a look and dig deeper with me and
But-
Nick and find
But then we
like,
did also
humor.
realize that like the fans that Chris had at the time, like when Chris was the only one blowing up, when he would include me and Matt in his TikToks, people would be like so mind blown that he was a triplet that they'd be like, oh my god. So like the videos where Chris was talking about being a triplet would do way better
Wait,
on his.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where we're like, oh, like if we all make a TikTok account together, that's something
But
that like
I feel
we've
like
wanted
it's
our
so
whole
weird.
life.
I feel like our group socials came so late to shit.
They did.
I agree.
Like I it's so weird. Like we made our group TikTok like when I was already at like 1 million followers, I think, on TikTok.
our
before
first
we
car
made
video-
the Well, we didn't make the group accounts until we got back to
The
our
other
house. Yeah, like I think like at that apartment we
Oh wow.
like like we were posting our own individual TikToks all blowing up. I got to like 500,000 followers.
Our
Nick
YouTube
at,
was
like,
doing well.
Our YouTube was doing good because
Our
like
YouTube was Nick's YouTube though for the first car video.
for the first like vlog or two.
No, our YouTube was my YouTube for like 3 videos.
Yeah, and then once we went out that night and we filmed the very first car video, and we all knew like, wow, this shit is gonna fucking be great. Like
Yeah.
we knew that we were gonna be YouTubers at that point. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, like it was like an internal thing. Like we didn't see any numbers, right? There was no proof like, oh, this car videos, like what car videos are. We never thought like, oh, these car videos are gonna be something that we do forever. It was like
Yeah.
we just had happened to have vlogged and film a video, and that felt good. Like, oh, we can be content creators like 100%. And then after uploading consistently and realizing that people were like loving car videos, it was like okay, this is like the thing that we're gonna do.
Yeah, because like we would do the vlogs that had nothing to do with the car stuff at all, and we were like, wow, compared to the car videos, these numbers are terrible. So it's like,
Yeah.
let's if people are
It's because they're
enjoying
not
that
intimate like the car
numbers were
videos
terrible.
are.
It was just the car videos were surpassing everything. Like we would post, like I always was mind blown at the fact that like usually like I don't know, like I was just mind blown that YouTube, which is like one of the hardest platforms to grow on, was the one where we were having the most numbers. Like
Yeah.
we'd post TikToks and then the YouTube videos would be doing better. So it was
Yeah.
like kind
And
of
it was
mind
also
blowing.
like how dialed in our fans were. Like it's hard to start a fan base. Like starting it's the hardest part.
Absolutely.
But I remember being at like 50K subscribers and then pulling like 50K views. And
Yeah,
and
they
I
were
used,
ride or
and I
die.
was
I'm
like,
still yet
holy
to
shit,
experience
like,
any of
these
this
people are
something
fucking
stuff like this. I'm
locked
still yet to
into
experience
what we're
it.
posting, and they actually genuinely care.
I remember checking our analytics like way back when, and like the amount of viewers to like non-subscribers was insane. Like there was like it was like at a point where like 60% of our viewers weren't subscribed to our YouTube channel. And it's like imagine if all the people watching these videos ended up subscribing, and then they kind of did.
Yeah.
You know?
It was crazy. And then like I feel like with going back to school, like high school, like we only went back for like a couple months of senior year. Like I think it was 3. So then like we went back to senior year, and like everyone had already kind of knew that we were like YouTubers now. And I think we went back to school like what, 25K?
Yeah.
No,
like-
we graduated high school with 25K. So
And
I
also
think
remember
we
getting-
grew 5K in that month. So
Yeah.
we're going back to high school with 20K subscribers on YouTube, which is like everyone thinks that's like the coolest. Well, it was. It was the coolest fucking shit going on.
And I
So-
also remember because of my TikTok following, because I had like 500,000, everyone would literally like act like I was like famous. It was so annoying. I low-key like hated it. But I remember I also got
Yeah.
like most likely to be famous like in our yearbook. Like
Yeah.
literally like it was
But
annoying.
what's
it was
really
fun.
really just
It was
crazy is I
it
think
was
that
hilarious.
I think that COVID and like not being at school gave us the confidence we needed to start content creation.
I
Then
agree.
content creation did well, and then we went back to school, and then it was like the summer came around after senior year, and we were like, we are 100% dialed in. We would have arguments with people who would like people would come up to us and be like, how are you guys like gonna do YouTube? Like you're not going to college or anything, and we're like, I always am so shocked at the amount of confidence we had at such low numbers,
And then there
because it was like
we like shared YouTube ad revenue and quit our Star Market jobs when COVID got bad. And then we would share we would share like $20 a month between the 3 of us.
Yeah.
it was like
And eat-
$20 each. Like,
yeah, and then like
for a
eat it-
month.
if you help us by basically supplying for us as if we're little children who
Like
don't
if
have
you like
jobs.
buy our clothes, if you buy our clothes, make our dinner, and make my bed for like
the next year,
a
you
year.
will not regret it.
yeah, literally.
Basically.
And we like negotiated it with our mom. We were like, all we need is a year of like just pure support and like
Financial stability a
and,
little bit.
yes,
Mhm.
and like dinner, and that's literally
don't know
all we
how-
ask for.
God bless her soul. I don't know how she let it happen.
You got a
Yeah.
little deal
And
going on.
Shout out to mom because she was like, you guys like just grind.
She
we
bought
did.
she bought Chris's first PC.
Mama
and,
bear.
like, was
Yeah, she
like-
got my first PC that we streamed on. She helped out a lot, and then we were just like, we knew we also wanted it so bad, but we also knew we owed it to our parents to like run
Yeah.
this shit up and do it.
Absolutely.
So then like
But we
it was
wanted,
just
like,
also
yeah.
I
that
relate
motivation,
so much
and
to
then
this.
like we were grinding. We started like showing our mom and dad like, look, there's like actual money to be made. Then that's around when like Laura reached out to us.
I'm pretty sure
Maddie.
Laura reached out to us before we graduated high school.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
and
because
then she
the
reached
first time we
out-
went to LA was July, and we graduated in June, I think. Because
It was
our prom was after the first time we went to LA already, I
Yeah.
think.
No.
But our prom was
Was
delayed.
it?
I think. No, it was, but our prom wasn't during the school year. It was
It was
delayed
af-
because
it
of
was-
COVID.
Yes. Prom was
Yes.
after graduation because
Yeah, like we
of COVID.
graduated, and then Maddie found us on her For You page. The whole story of like how we met Laura and Maddie, which we'll tell when they're on the podcast. But we met them and then flew out to LA for a week with our mom, met Laura, got along super well, and then just like started doing brand deals, making like dollars here, dollars there, like cheap brand deals, like $50 for like an Instagram post to start, like stuff like that. But yeah, then we met Laura and Maddie. It was fucking awesome. And then Laura's like also the goat at showing us how to like become YouTubers and like build a brand, not just be like the one-off YouTubers. Like build who you want to be, what you want to promote, and
Yeah.
just really do it. Because it's kind of like what we all learned and what we realized is like you can like we are YouTubers and we had like a following, like such a mass amount of people supporting us, and like all the people that followed us, we were like they like us so much that like we could genuinely do anything and they'll be there to support it. So it was kind of just realizing that like if we want to
I wouldn't
use,
say
like, the following
anything.
that we have
There
and
are
people that
limits
support
to
us to do
everything.
anything with it, these people are going to continue to support us because of like the connection we've built through YouTube, that like if any of us want to try something new, they're going to be ride or die fans for that as well because they appreciate us and we appreciate that. We grew so
Lose my
fast to the point where like
mind.
we were doing these month-long trips back and forth where like by the next time we were in LA, it was every single time I feel like we hit LA, there was more opportunity for us here because we were growing at such a rapid rate that we were being more noticed by like either people here or brands here or just like work.
Yeah.
That it was like it honestly was
it felt like-
shocking.
It felt like, so when we were back home, it's like people know who we are in our city before the whole YouTube thing. So it's like we go from getting noticed by people in our hometown that we didn't know because they know us on YouTube now. So now we're getting noticed in Boston, and then we fly out here.
Getting noticed back home was like the start of like wow, like
yeah,
holy
exactly,
fuck,
like holy shit. And then we come out here, and then we're still getting noticed by like more teenage girls in like a Target or like in a mall. And then it's genuinely like we are flying across the country, and there's people that know us in both sides of it. And it's like, and everywhere in between as well. So it's just like, that's when you're like, okay, we're actually doing something right, and we need to keep doing this.
Yeah, and then like going back home started to feel a little like weird. Not with our parents or like family shit, but like just everyone else around. Like it was giving like it felt like we were too big to go home at some point, which sounds like that's worded terribly, but everyone would treat us like we were like fucking like these huge
Well, it's just, like,
celebrities
what
roaming
really-
the streets.
what
What really bothered me, and I feel like still bothers me to this day, is like the amount of like relationships that we had. Like you have to think, this is a city we live in for like the time we're born up until we're 18 years old, right? So like I'm not talking relationships like best friend like Nate. Like I'm talking relationships like I saw
Fucking
this
Joe
person Schmo at the corner who like goes by this corner every Friday at 2:30 and like I saw him after school. Like literally anybody. So it's like literally every single person that we had any sort of relationship, whether it's like my fucking 45th cousin, like
Our
mom's,
dentist,
mom's
our fucking
like dentist's sister's brother who like lives near the park we used to play at. Like literally everyone going from like I knew of you and we were cool and that's fine, right? And that's awesome. But going from being like I know these boys and like they're awesome, like they're Mary Lou's kids, like I love them, versus we'd come back and they'd be texting my mom like, "Oh, we should have like a family dinner and
My
with
mom
your
having
boys,"
my
because
mom
it's
having
like,
friends that she hasn't spoke to since they graduated high school together.
yeah,
like reaching out. It's
and it's like,
I wonder
honestly,
why
just,
that
like,
is.
Going back home and like the amount of people that like genuinely would say like, "Oh, I care
Money,
for you,
money,
and, like,
money
I'm here for you," and
speaks.
then not do anything about it, and then like a month later be asking for a favor, like reaching back out. It was just a really
like, "Hey,
weird
bro, how you
vibe of
been?"
like it's like a friend from high school from like fucking freshman year I met once. So like, "Hey, bro, how you been?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm great, man. Appreciate it." And they're like, "Oh, can you do me a favor?" Like, and then it's like, "Wow,
Yeah,
like,
my
bro,
third
like,
cousin's sister's like a big fan, and it's like
it's just like I never really felt like anyone was reaching out because they wanted to know how my life was going here or what I was up to now. It's like I genuinely just felt like
used
a
kinda.
tool to like be like kind
To
of like
benefit
just like
people back home.
yeah, like I felt like I could just like I was just being used to like oh either like say my name because they used to know who I was or like
And then it's also weird when it's someone you didn't even really get along with, and they're
Oh,
asking
or like
now.
the people
Yeah,
that like bully you.
but
yeah,
I think
because it's
what's
like, dude,
super-
like you're like you fucking.
Yeah, because they're literally the only reason they're doing it is because they want something out of you, because they now see value in you, because you're now a certain level in society on social media. You get a certain amount of money, which I'm from their views and their subs, which is quite a lot. You're gonna get people like that come out the woodwork you've not spoken to in years, because all they smell is money. The money bags. That's all they smell. Then you become relevant to them. Those are the people you don't want in your life. As I say to myself on most occasions when I'm literally reviewing, going over everything on my channel, seeing how it's growing. I love the fact that it's growing. And I just know in the future, when I hit a certain level on here, people are going to come sniffing out the woodwork, because it happens. That's how people are in society. The only real ones in your life are the ones that stick by you when you have nothing and you're sat on your backside with nothing. The people who stick around you then, they're the people you need to stick with. Not the people who come in after everything you've been through, all the hell you've been through, and they just come in to cut something out that you've earned for yourself. Those are the people you don't want in your life.
like
You made fun
hazed
of me.
us,
You
you
made fun
fucking
of me.
moron.
Yeah,
Like,
and
bro,
what I find
think about
really
it.
like really weird is just like kind of just like the dynamic of like that's like people will be like oh they changed you're changed and that's why you don't want to like talk to these people anymore, when in reality it's like I still felt like the same exact person. So it's like I felt like Nick Sterniolo, who like graduated high school and I wanted to do like photography and graphic design, like I just had these like minor goals and aspirations, and then like people to kind of like
I agree.
well, it's like I'm not even saying anything, and you're saying I agree. Like I
Well, I
didn't
agree
even
with that.
finish my sentence. I was trying to get there, and you're saying I agree, and then you said like
Oh,
we're
here
getting
it
off
goes.
topic, and I forget what I was even saying.
It's
So
okay.
it's
But
like
no, take your
just
time.
back home started being weird, so we kind of like being
oh,
here
I
more.
remember what I was gonna say.
But then we started going
well,
back,
well.
and then I love both places equally still to this day, and I appreciate both. But now it's just like we found our balance. I feel
yeah,
like
I
just
agree.
what I was trying to say is like I just genuinely felt like I didn't feel like I was bigger than these people. I felt like they were acting like I was, so it made it difficult to like translate that relationship because it's like you're putting me on a pedestal I don't want to be on.
Yeah.
That's above you. It's like I want to be.
yeah, we just want to
Cool.
be kumbaya with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And I forgot.
Yeah, but then like that sums up like that part of our journey. Like that was the most recent, I feel like back and forth, like loving both. And I to this day I love both places deep down in my soul. I love everyone there. I love everyone here, and I appreciate everything. But moving forward, let's start talking a little bit more like our first LA experiences, like meeting people, like
I was gonna say talking about like being here finally, like alone.
like it felt weird. Like me, Matt, and Nick had our own place now. We fucking like since August, I think. I don't know, but like we have our own place. Us three live alone together. Weird as shit.
Very
like
weird.
we've dreamed
Like,
of this
I have
since
to do
we were
like this kid's dirty underwear.
Like bro, what?
That's what I mean. And like yours too. Like I have to
lost.
do laundry
Like
and shit.
it's just like we have totally like yes, we've changed as like people, but we've
this is a whole other topic.
yes, but I'm talking about like not changing like treating people different. I'm talking about changing from like being a kid and working at a grocery store and still in high school to currently now sleeping in my own fucking house that I own and like having to like just like fucking be an adult. Like I go to meetings in the morning and use big words. Like who the fuck would have ever thought? Like I use
And it's, like,
actual
I think-
big terms
and
now,
I think
and it's
that's, like,
crazy.
Even like buying groceries, and, like making your bed, and like I have like a bathroom that no one's gonna put toilet paper in if I don't. Shit like that is crazy.
Here we go.
So Nick is the absolute
I know
worst.
you will.
Nick's the absolute worst with, okay, I have to do all the laundry. I go to his room, I get all of his dirty clothes, or what I think is all of his dirty clothes, go downstairs, put it in the washing machine.
Does anyone
Hit start. Nick, hold on. I hit start, I get all of Chris's, and then I go into Chris's room. He's got nothing. All of his shit was in his dirty laundry bin. I go back up to Nick's room. There's dirty socks here. There's pants there. There's this shirt there. It's like, bro, if I'm gonna do your laundry, at least give me the point of putting it.
He's
from
so
your
fed up
fucking
with this
floor into the
conversation.
dirty hamper,
Alright,
so I
let's-
don't
yeah,
have to-
let's move on, let's move on.
You know,
Way too long.
and he does
Got
the same
it.
thing with trash. Is what I was.
Thanks,
doing. Okay,
Matt.
ready?
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Clap
you.
if you gave a fuck.
Okay, that's crazy.
Thank you. What
Thank
did you
you.
expect to
Crazy.
happen? Who's
Silence.
gonna clap right now?
I have
You can't
nothing
hear
to
the
say.
people that are gonna clap while they listen.
All right.
dummy.
Anyway, let's carry on. But yeah, that we basically the past few months have been discovering what it's like to be alone, and okay, and we're working on like our new projects now, like this podcast, which Nick announced about a year ago.
Yeah.
Like the warehouse. The warehouse is really cool. I'm really excited
So
about
let's
that.
talk about. Okay, so
How
we,
much longer,
we,
Nick?
we covered.
Matt.
We
have
covered.
Matt.
Hold on. What is so like? You're looking at him.
You're
For
just
those
an idiot.
listening, Nick just made an ugly face at Chris when I spoke for some reason. I don't know
Anyway,
why.
I feel like the future, I feel like it has a lot to unfold that we also aren't unprepared for. Preparing for the future can honestly be good and bad, because when you prepare for something, you can never prepare enough for the future because it doesn't exist yet.
Facts. Holy fuck.
You know what I
You
mean?
never-
I'm like scared of what you just
Well,
said.
I'm not
that
being-
was so wisdom. I'm like saying like
That was
he
so
said you can
wisdom.
never prepare
Like-
for the future because the future has not happened yet.
It's like
Which you literally just said the truth, but I was
hypothetically-
shivering to my
hypothetically-
core.
guess what's gonna happen.
Hypothetically, like next Friday, there could be a zombie apocalypse. The motherfuckers that have been preparing for years will be ready. Like
That's
I
very
won't
true.
be, because I'm not preparing for stuff like that.
Let's
But it's
talk
like-
about it though.
The thing is, no, that's not. But the
Okay.
thing is like when you prepare for the future, I feel like whatever you're preparing for, you're preparing for it to like happen bad or in a different way. Because like when you're preparing, you think something's gonna happen, you think it's gonna happen, you think it's gonna happen. It won't, or it will, and you'll regret that it did. Like I talked to my like,
hold on.
because like if you set your brain
Ugh.
to like a certain thing, oh, it's gonna go great, this is gonna happen. Like I'm not saying don't have
He's going for a mind
drive and
fuck right
motivation
now.
to complete something. I'm saying never put full faith in something and always be ready to learn for your mistakes. And I'm only talking as like a human who's just done this for the past year of my life. I have put my goals first. I have attempted everything to do everything to the best of my ability. But I have been also ready for the worst things to happen, and maybe like something bad or like the downfall. Like I'm ready.
I
Go ahead.
think what you're saying here, and I'm saying this as like a rewording, just because I'm thinking
Just
it
say
in
it.
a different way to understand it differently.
Yeah.
I hate when you pressure me to say shit.
Go.
Anyway, like
As if
the
it
way
happens every day.
the way that I would say it is like, I'm gonna
Just
I'm
say
gonna
it,
get
Matt.
up and punch this kid.
Should
I
say
think-
it.
I'm literally forgetting what I'm saying. 'cause
Matt.
I'm just so focused on how
Go.
annoying he
Just
is.
go.
It's like you can plan all the shit that you want to do for the future, but at the end of the day, you need to know that like not everything you plan is going to be guaranteed. So always
Dude,
have a backup.
It's just like how my mom says it. One of the realest shit Mary Lou ever spits, bro. She said, if people plan, God laughs. And I actually, my mom said that a little bit ago after I was actually trying to plan something out. And she said, you know what they say, Chris? Like, if people plan, God laughs. I was like, you know what, Mom? Like, that's the realest shit you ever told me. Because, like, I actually think of that almost every day now, ever since
Yeah.
Mom said that. And I'm going to actually call her after this and I'm going to tell her. I'm going to say, Mom, people plan and God laughs. Like, just a beautiful little message, because it's like God isn't laughing at you planning. He's laughing that you think you can control the future. You can't. You have to just let it happen.
Yeah.
But also, I was thinking, like, as a creative, like, our job is, like, to come up with ideas sometimes. So it's like we're coming up with car video ideas constantly.
Oh yeah, we're always
And I
planning.
just think of, like, no, I'm not talking always planning. I'm saying, like, as a creative, it's super important, obviously, to plan and have structure. But I saw, and Matt's going to yell at me because I've been talking about it for, like, multiple weeks because I've been, like, binge watching the entire
RuPaul's
show.
Drag Race.
But I saw on RuPaul's Drag Race, one of the people, like, they had an outfit and then they had to scrap their whole idea and change it. And they had said, like, as a creative person and someone who does a creative thing as their livelihood, they were explaining, like, I never allow myself to get genuinely attached to one of my projects or ideas, because for moments like this where I have to fully, like, adapt and change what's happening, I am okay with that. Because I feel like one of the things I set myself up with all the time is, like, I'll come up with a car video idea that I think is so fucking good. I'll be like, oh, this is gonna be a viral clip, people are gonna love it, and I'm gonna love watching it back when people are, like, posting the clips from it. and then we'll go to film, and not even 5 minutes in, I literally will be like, I regret every decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
We need to go home. I feel
Yeah.
like moral of the
And
story
also,
is
I just want to say that I don't hate RuPaul's Drag Race. It's just when I live with Nick and Chris and I hear RuPaul's name more than theirs, it gets a little annoying.
No,
But anyway,
RuPaul,
go ahead.
like his, like
Okay,
if
Nick.
you don't know who RuPaul is, Google RuPaul's
Oh.
laugh and just like look at him laugh at a joke, and like it just warms my heart. It's like
Okay.
the funniest
Anyway,
fucking thing ever.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I had a lot of fun filming this episode.
Me as well.
You know, I feel like the moral of the story
haven't
is
talked
just
much
like
in this
we
whole
want to share our
episode.
journey to show the ups and downs of shit, how things can go not in your favor and you can still succeed, and like just never, if you have a dream, just chase it, do whatever you want, be safe, be careful. I always say that, like if you're gonna do whatever you want and have hope in yourself, be safe and be careful, but just do it anyway.
What would you say your life is like this week off camera?
My life is awesome.
okay,
I'm
can I say
grateful.
something?
What?
I think we should, when we answer that question within ourselves, it shouldn't be this week in like present tense. It should be like in the story we told.
Oh, I love that.
Based off of what we talked about, what's one word off camera to describe your life?
Like,
then?
for example, my answer about today's episode would be like, there's always going to be ups, there's always going to be downs, but it's how you're going to persevere and work through it and be the best person that you can be and how you're going to get there. And I feel like that sums up your guys' answer as well.
I agree. And see, if I was because like
I
this,
like
this,
that.
you know, because
I
this
love
week,
that.
because this week, I've been like happy. I've been chilling. I've been doing my thing.
But what
You know,
got you to that
but-
journey?
But it's like if I were to say one week, what off the camera, or what's one phrase or one word to describe your week?
It's
this
like that
week?
story is what
right
they want
now,
to know.
right now,
you
I'd
know?
say pretty good. But in the main thing of this whole podcast, what we just talked about, my one word, if we were talking about the subject we talked about in that video, would be grind. Like the grind
I
and
love
like
it.
the motivation
I like
to
that
get
a
there.
lot.
What about yours, Nick?
I'd say togetherness, because
Awesome.
none of
Amen.
this would have been possible at all if any of us gave up on our dreams for each other.
Yeah, that is the end of today's episode. I'm sorry I didn't talk much throughout that episode. I was just trying to dial in and listen because I am actually interested in learning from a lot about these lads, seeing where we agree on subjects, where we disagree on subjects. I don't have to agree to everything they say. They don't have they don't have to agree to anything I say. The same with you people who are watching right now. You don't have to agree with anything that I say, and I don't have to agree with anything you say. That's the perfect thing about freedom of speech. But yeah, if you did like today's content, please smash the like button down below. If you're not a subscriber, please smash the subscribe button. It's notification bell to be notified when uploads such as these ones and my gaming videos at the weekend. I totally agree with what they were saying at the end there. Literally, my lesson that I got from this episode on their podcast was take it day by day. Don't plan anything. Have like an expectation of what you want to do, like and have an idea, but don't like fully commit to it. Like allow life to take its own course. Put like effort into doing it, whatever you're doing. Put the amount of effort, as much effort as you can, but just don't expect loads of stuff out of it, because you can never know where it would lead. But yeah, like I say, that's all I've got time for today. Patreon, all you Patreon lovers, movie reaction lovers, head over to my Patreon. That's also in the description below. All my socials are also down in the description below. But yeah, until next time, I will see you then. Good. Bye.